Hey everybody, welcome back. Episode 6, Handling Showings. This is gonna go over everything you need to know about showing your property, and this is essential, so please watch until the end. Showings is the first time a buyer is going to truly feel emotional about the property because they're gonna be able to walk through and truly know if this is the house that they wanna buy. And they need to be able to experience it firsthand before living there. This year alone, I've been able to find 3 individuals that are out of state to purchase a house without having to see it in person, and that's been through video and touring and me being their personal eyes and boots on the ground. However, it's not always the case. People need to walk through your property because if they're gonna spend $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, they're gonna wanna walk through the property. And if you don't give them that opportunity, you could be turning them off and they would be going and viewing other homes while your home is still locked because you didn't give them the ability to walk through it. Okay, let's talk about scheduling showings. When I'm in person, I'm talking to you face to face, we're gonna figure out the best time for showings. The best is when it's a vacant property and nobody's living there. 24-hour access. Of course, if somebody's requesting 3 a.m., it's kind of weird. But if they want to buy a house because they're on the reverse schedule and they're a police officer, you never know. You never know. Just saying. But let's say you still currently live at the property. You want to leave the property during the showing. Now, you can stick around, and who better to sell the property than the seller? However, this is usually what happens. The buyer can't fully express their emotions to their agent who's showing your house, and they hold back. They're not able to get their questions answered. A buyer's agent's job, okay, is of course a fiduciary duty of supporting the buyer and making sure that their decision is important. And it's huge because if they buy a house, there's a bunch of problems, and that agent ill-advised them wrongfully, they probably will get sued. So I'm just gonna throw that out there. But you still need to understand, you're paying a buyer's agent a fee to make sure that they sell your home. That's what they do. Sell, sell, sell. They want to close that buyer on buying your property, so you got to let them do their job. So you got to leave the property. Now, if you have a huge house and you want to go on out back to the shed and do something and not make contact with them, completely fine. If you just absolutely have to talk to the buyer and the agent, you can greet them, you can say hello, welcome to the house, and then work on your way getting out. And me personally, when somebody's going to schedule a showing, what they do is they go through a platform called Showing Time. It's going to alert me, and I'm going to confirm with you to see if that time works. Now you can set up a free account, and both you and I can get alerted, and all you have to do is send a text message back saying capital Y or capital N for yes or no. And lastly, I cannot show buyers your property. I just can't do it. That's the buyer's agent's job. I'm not above being a buyer's agent. However, you need to understand, if I'm on your side negotiating on your behalf to make sure that you get the best deal possible, how am I supposed to be on the buyer's side trying to convince them to buy your home? Your interests are not gonna be one way. I'm gonna be butting heads with you. I'm gonna be negotiating against you, and I can't do that. I have a fiduciary duty to you to make sure that you get the most amount of money possible. I am gonna fight for you, and that's why you're paying me. You're paying me to get you more money. If I don't get you more money than my commission on top of your house, I'm pretty much worthless, and there's no reason to hire me. So let me do my job, let me negotiate on your behalf, and when a buyer comes in, we'll have somebody represent them, and we can do that. Or if they wanna represent themselves, completely different. My admin team is gonna take care of their paperwork, make sure it's a smooth transaction with the loan, with the attorney, with us, and everything in between without having a conflict of interest. Because again, at the end of the day, I'm on your side. So when there is a showing, you gotta make your home appealing. Back in the series, we talked about decluttering and the deep cleaning, all that kind of stuff. Make sure it's upkept. Do a little walkway or a little walkthrough of your property and just get eyes on the bathroom. Are the toilet seats down? Is there dirt, in the kitchen? Is it swept? Is there a banana peel laying out on the countertop and you accidentally poured milk while you were pouring your bowl of cereal? So you only got one chance to leave a lasting first impression. Let's talk about the atmosphere a little bit when it comes to the scent of your home. Do not put 20 plugins in your house. It's gonna be overwhelming and it might actually turn somebody off because as soon as they walk through the door and they just get hit in the nose with smell, might not be a good idea. Maybe a little mist of Febreze or maybe one plug-in per large room might not be a bad idea. That's a conversation we can talk about in person and we can decide from there. But you don't want it overwhelming, but you also don't want it to be bland, spice it up a little bit. But before somebody comes into your house, they're gonna see the outside, so curb appeal is important. If you're no longer living there, you need to make sure that the lawn's kept, that it's cut, that it's trimmed, make sure that the shrubs look good, make sure that it's swept off, you blew off the driveway after the clip clippings, all that good jazz, because curb appeal is huge. If somebody pulls up to your house and they look over at your house and it is a mess outside, what are they gonna do? They're gonna step on the gas and they're gonna keep on going. Let's talk a little bit about lighting and ambience, because when somebody walks through your house for the first time, that lasting first impression is very important. You want to make sure that all the lights are on unless you have great natural lighting. Make sure that those blinds are open and we have that natural light coming in, unless that window looks out to something that's not appealing. If one of your windows looks right out to the garbage can or a fence that's destroyed because your neighbor doesn't keep up with it, I'm not saying, just throwing stuff out there, okay? If you look out that window and it doesn't look good, make sure that blind's closed. But if it does look good and there's natural light coming in, make sure that it's open. Maybe some nice light music in the background. I don't know if you have like Amazon Alexa or something like that to have light jazz, no words coming through, or something like that for the atmosphere. And also maybe you have a couple candles lit. I don't know, it just depends on the type of day it is and how you want to structure your home to make sure that that house looks amazing as people walk through. One that's always dear to me is home security during showings. I'm a former Army Ranger and police officer, and this one hits home. You gotta be careful. I have a bunch of different stuff on agents being safe while they show properties, never being between the person and a hard space. You always wanna have an exit out. You wanna make sure that you have your phone ready for 911 if needed, all that good stuff. However, you're not gonna be showing your own property unless you're a for sale by owner and you found this series. More power to you, be careful, okay? But on your end as the seller, you wanna make sure that valuables are locked up. Now within the real estate industry, especially within the National Association of Realtors, you have to be extremely professional, and that buyer's agent has their eyes on that buyer at all times, and they will not allow somebody to steal something from your property. But you want to be careful. Don't have your gun laying out on the nightstand. Make sure that your valuables are locked up. If you have a jewelry box, make sure that it's tucked away and not open. Just common sense stuff like that. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Also, understand this, preparing for a showing, I'm gonna shoot a link down in the description below. Click on it. It's gonna be a little guide on how to prepare your home for sale, what to clean, how to prep for a showing, all that kind of stuff. So instead of just listening to me talk about it, you actually have a visual. You can print that thing off, put it on the refrigerator or wherever you wanna put it, and you can just check off the boxes as you go through. It's gonna be a super easy, helpful guide. And last but not least, showing feedback. That one's on me, and it's to tell you the good, bad, and the ugly. Every showing that we have, every single one, I'm gonna request feedback. And I'm gonna tell you what that feedback is. Maybe the buyer absolutely loves the house and wants to put in an offer. Or maybe the buyer comes back with something that they did not like about the property, and I have to tell you. Because if I don't tell you, we can't make any changes. Because what if buyer number 2, buyer number 3, buyer number 4 feels the same way, doesn't want to voice their opinion, but buyer number 1, we could have gotten something fixed, gotten something cleaned up, maybe got the carpets deep cleaned because you got some dogs and it smells a little bit, but you're nose blind. No offense, I have dogs. It is what it is. But every single time somebody walks through a property, it's gonna have a distinct smell, and the homeowner's not gonna be able to tell what that smell is because you are there every single day. So when it comes down to it, showing feedback is gonna be huge, and that's something I'm gonna be upfront and honest to you about after every showing. But that's how you handle showings. It's one of the most important steps throughout this entire process. Thank you for watching to the end of this video. It's really important that we go through the series together and that you watch until the end, because this is gonna show you step by step everything you need to know. This is a huge decision to sell your house, and I'm thankful and grateful for the opportunity to be able to help serve you and your family. I'll catch you on the next one.